Okay, thank you for joining today's presentation. Today for our weekly Wednesday webinar, we're going to be talking about Sage Paperless and other document management systems that are also available to integrate with your accounting system. So today we're going to focus on becoming a paperless office, what that process looks like. We're going to talk a little bit about ROI, and I also will share a demo that we've prepared by Olivia Romer, who is a Sage certified consultant and also does all of our Sage Paperless trainings and implementations for that product. We'll go ahead and get started here. So what is document management? And some of my 100 contractor clients have questions as it relates to document control, which is an add-on, a small add-on of project management. Document control is a module that allows you to create certain correspondence or documents out of the system, pulling in those fields, vendors, customers, things like that, so that you could stay in touch with everyone. This is a complete document management system. So it is a platform outside of the accounting system that is designed to capture, retrieve, and protect those documents. It allows everyone to stay in contact, put annotations, approve, and even burn stamps or signatures onto document files. So it's a really powerful tool, really powerful system. It does integrate back to the accounting, and we'll talk a little bit about that today, but whether you're using 100 Contractor or 300 CRE, or if you're in the back office, or if you're in the field and want access to those documents, this solution will connect everybody. So again, we're talking about distributing these documents and giving access, things like contracts, pictures, change orders, HR forms can be very handy for that, service work orders, purchase orders, receiving tickets, plans and drawings, as well as, any miscellaneous document or file that you want to have. Basically, this system replaces the old-fashioned filed cabinet, and you no longer have to search between tabs to find the document that you're looking for. Every single file or document can be tagged, so it's searchable. So rather than thumbing through files, you are typing in what you're looking for in a search bar, and it makes it that easy. Okay, so moving on, this is a really powerful piece of this document management solution. It is a tool called OCR, Optical Character Recognition. What that is a highly accurate, scalable data processing and document capture solution that intelligently extracts, classifies, and serves critical data from images. It could be text from emails or actual documents. So this basically takes a PDF and it reads it for you. It scans it, it reads it, and knows who the vendor is. There is some setup work. So what I always like to kind of bring up from the very beginning, because it sounds very cool, definitely is cool if you have the amount of volume that requires a lot of time and detail that can be eliminated with one simple setup. So you're basically going to create a template in the very beginning to set this OCR functionality up so that it recognizes, say, the company's logo or the text on that invoice, so that it can recognize and read that, and then it can code it to the right job from there. So basically, you do some setup work in the beginning, and it eliminates the need to have an actual AP person sitting there manually entering that data. So I've put up a little equation that you might be able to utilize to compare the cost of this solution as compared to what it's costing you. Now, I just plugged in numbers here, but if it's taking you, if you are receiving 1,000 invoices a month, and It takes 20 invoices per hour to manually have someone enter that in and code it. Then you'll want to take that number and multiply it by the hourly amount that it costs you for that AP person to be doing that work. So if it's 50 hours after doing all of that, multiply it by $15 an hour if that's what you're paying them, then you'll get your monthly cost. So over 12 months, this cost is $9,000. So what you want to look at is your number of invoices as opposed to the cost of this. And this cost is very similar to this yearly cost. So basically your investment in this is going to eliminate 1 year's worth of that person's salary. So it can be a really good investment if you have the volume that requires this kind of thing. So we will talk about some of those benefits since we have a limited amount of time today and I want to get to that demo portion. So automated workflow and mobility benefits. So this is a solution that has an integrated plugin that will be installed to connect to your accounting system, but it does allow web-based access for users who are out in the field. So that can really cut down time that it takes for the old-fashioned way for people out in the field to come into the office, make sure that they have all their documents ready to go to pass on to the next person who would need to approve that. So integrating it with the accounting system, but then also making it available electronically or digitally from anywhere in the world can have such great benefits. This can really automate that process, so you can actually have the system create alerts if it's been sitting in the queue for too long. This will allow you to build those stronger relationships with your vendors and subcontractors. And again, it just eliminates the need for paper files, the cost of things getting lost, what that does to your business, and then storage costs. I've been into many offices where it's just boxes and boxes of paper just everywhere. And so eliminating that need to store all of that paperwork for years, as well as all the time that it would take to go searching through those paper files. So these are definitely benefits that a lot of our customers who have implemented this solution are really reaping and seeing across the board. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the demo portion. Now, the video we prepared is a little bit grainy, but it at least gives you a really good idea of what the system looks like, how things are set up, and all of that. So I'll go ahead and play that, and we will wrap up this session. If you have questions or if you'd like a more personalized demo, we can absolutely schedule some time to just set aside 30 minutes to go through it, and in particular, how your business operates and all of the documents that you would require to be utilized in the system. So if you have questions or want a demo, just let me know.
So I am going to now show you the product. Okay, so this is Sage Paperless. Today I'm going to be showing the full construction, the premium construction suite. So right now I am logged in as Rose, and Rose is our accounts payable coordinator, and she gets all the invoices and imports or inputs the information into Sage Paperless. So here I am as Rose. I've got 2 invoices here. So I'm just going to come and drag this document. It's a PDF document. And as you can see, as I drag this over, the window changes. So I can open up the file, I can put this file into a batch that I can create, I can index this file, which I'll get to in a second, I can route this file around, I can push it to a queue. If it's multiple pages within a PDF and I want to break them out into separate documents, I can use this to split that file. I can insert this document into another document, or I can just open it up into the window. So in this example, I'm going to push this invoice into a queue, and I'm going to put it into the public AP queue because I'm the AP coordinator. And I'm going to grab this second one, and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so as the AP coordinator, I'm going to enter in some invoices. Now you can see here on the right-hand side, these are all the invoices that are inside the AP queue, okay? So now I'm going to start entering some of these invoices into Sage Paperless. So here's my document here. I'm going to make this window a little bit bigger. Here's my document here. I have a lot of tools available for me. So as you can see down below, I have all these annotation tools that I can use. I can put sticky notes on here, stamps, I can highlight certain things, I can add text, I can use boxes or lines, I can write things and redact items on a document. So you have a lot of availability there with what you want to add to a document, as well as how you want to view a document, whether you want it centered on a page or the page view. Also from this screen, I can email this to another individual. It could be internal or external user, and I could print this document as well. So right now, I'm going to enter this new invoice. And as you can see here, another screen popped up. This is your invoice entry screen, and you'll notice it has some of the same fields that you see within accounts payable, within the accounts payable module. And this is linked to your Sage accounting software. So when I click on here, I can see all of my vendors in here, okay, as well as jobs and cost codes, etc. So I am going to start entering this invoice. So this is for, this is for banks, cabinets, and I'm just going to start entering in the invoice information. So this is for cabinets, and it looks like this is for job Main Street Post Office. And so as an AP coordinator, I can enter in as much information as I know or as little. So let's say maybe all I know is this basic information, who the vendor is, the invoice number, the invoice date, and the amount of the invoice. That's fine, because based on routing rules that you can set up, I can have this go to a purchasing agent or a project manager or superintendent to then code this invoice within the software. In this particular example, I know what this is for. This actually goes to a subcontract agreement. So when I come in here, I can actually look for this subcontract. So I know that it goes to this subcontract here, and now I can see the various lines of this subcontract. So it's probably a little small, but as you can see, these kind of line up with my different line items on my subcontract agreement. So I'm going to go ahead and enter how much they're billing me for. It pulls in the job, cost code, category, and GL account information in here for me. So now all I need to do is put in how much they're billing me for. So in this case, they're billing me for $54.30 on this particular line item. And then this is 922. And then on this line item for the lobby cabinetry, they are billing me $13,062.50. Okay. So now I've entered this information for this particular invoice. Now I can hit this route button, and what this will do is this is going to route this around for approval. So as you can see here, based on the information that I entered, it's going to route this for approval to Jose. And then after Jose approves it, then it's going to go to John for approval. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit route. And now I can enter in my next invoice. So now I have a invoice that is not job related, and I can enter in that information here as well. So again, this is for sun cleaning, and I'm just going to enter in the basic information again on this invoice. If I can spell today. Okay, because this isn't going to a job or a purchase order or subcontract agreement or a piece of equipment, I can just put it here to an expense. So in this case, this is going to go to janitorial for the full amount. And then again, I hit route. And now it's going to route this document. Now this document is going to go to a different person. It's going to go to Olivia for approval. So I can go ahead and route this document. Okay. So now I've entered all my invoices as rows. So now I'm going to change to the role of an approver. Okay, so now I'm going to log into the software as Jose, and Jose is our purchasing agent. So he reviews all the documents that are related to subcontracts and purchase orders. So I'm going to review those real quick. Did I open this? Okay, so as you can see in Jose's screen, he can see that he has 3 items that are pending review for him. So when he comes into this screen here, he can see the 3 documents that he's supposed to approve and the actual documents themselves on the left-hand side here, as well as all the detail below. So how this invoice was coded and so on and so forth. Also in here, I can see additional information. So I can see how much has been coded to date on this particular commitment, in this case, the subcontract agreement. I can also see what the budget looks like as well. Okay. So as you can see in this particular example, I'm over budget on this particular line item or this cost code. Okay, as I review the document, if I want to look at additional information, I can. Maybe I want to look at the vendor history because maybe I feel like they have another invoice where they billed us for this exact same stuff. So I can take a look at that information. You can also look at any related documents. So if they had a subcontract agreement or a purchase order that was scanned inside the software, I could also see all that information as well. Okay. So once I've reviewed the document and I feel that everything is correct, then I can just hit the Approve button and I can go on to my next item. It still provides any of the warnings that you would normally get within your Sage software. As you can see, this is telling me I'm over budget on this cost code and it would exceed it on the category as well. So I'm going to waive this because I know it's because we haven't entered in a change order yet. And now that invoice is approved and I can go on to the next invoice and so on and so forth. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to log in as the project manager, John, because he has some additional approval capabilities that Jose does not. Oops. Okay, so on John's screen, you can see he has 2 items pending his approval, and he has 3 items in his inbox. So inside his inbox, he has different types of documents that he can approve. In this example, he has a purchase order he needs to review and approve, another purchase order, and he also has a subcontract change order that was sent to him for approval as well. Okay, so once he reviews these documents, he can just hit approve, and then those show that John approved these documents, that they're correct, and now they can be sent out to whoever should receive them, whether it's a sub or a customer or a supplier, whoever needs to receive those documents. So again, I'm looking at this purchase order. Yep, this purchase order is correct. I'm going to go ahead and approve this document. Now this feature and functionality is only available with the premium construction version of the software. Only AP documents are available with AP Flow Basic and AP Flow Standard. So this feature right here is only with the Construction Premium Suite. Okay. So now I also have invoices to approve as well. And again, you can see the same type of screen that Jose had. So in this particular example, this was an invoice that Jose approved prior to me. So I can see it here. It was approved by Jose on this day at this time. If Jose wrote any notes, those would be added here as well. And he waived the fact that this was going over budget because we have change orders that haven't been entered yet. So I can review this again. If I needed to change anything, I would have the capability to do so. If it went to a wrong subcontract agreement, or if the cost code or job was incorrect, I have the ability to change that information in this screen. Okay. In this case, this document looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and approve that document. And yes, I know it's over budget, but that's okay. And I'm going to go ahead and waive that. Okay, so now that document is approved, and I can go to my next document. You have the ability to approve documents, to reject documents, and to place them on hold, as well as reroute the documents as well. So what I recommend to customers is, rather than rejecting them, I would place them on hold if there's an issue. If you reject an invoice, then if it had multiple approval tiers, then it would have to start that whole approval process all the way over from the beginning. If you place it on hold, you can get whatever issue resolved and then approve it at a later time. When documents are placed on hold, they are not submitted into your accounting software for payment. So they will not be paid if they're in a status of hold. Okay? Only approved invoices can be submitted for payment. Okay, another nice feature with Sage Paperless is the ability to search for documents. So here I have these documents, and I can put in certain search criteria that I might need to find the specific documents that I'm looking for. So in this particular example, I want to find any documents that are related to this particular job. So now it's showing me all the documents that are in the software. And as you can see, as I hover my icon, my mouse over, I can see a preview of what that document is. So in this example, I've got a subcontract agreement for Wright, some invoices, and some purchase order information on this particular job. Again, I can double click on it. I can view that document. I can print it, email it, add annotations, etc. With that search utility. I can also do that functionality here. I can email it, I can print, I can save it to a file, so it saves it to my computer as a PDF, or if I wanted to take all this information and save it to a DVD, I could do that as well. All right. So now I'm going to log on as the administrator just so you can see some of the features and functionality that you have available. All right, so as an admin, you can see you have a lot of functions that you have available to you. So in here, I can set up AP accruals. So any invoices that have not been approved at the end of the month, I can accrue those automatically. So it'll automatically do a GL and job cost entry to my accounting software for those unapproved invoices that automatically reverse out the next month. So that way I can still capture those costs without actually approving those invoices. So that's a nice feature. I also can create credit card import templates. So that way I can download the statements from my credit card company, whether it be American Express or Chase or whoever your credit card's from, and pull all those receipts together on those documents. This is also where I can set up invoice routing rules. So in this particular example, I have 3 rules set up. One, if an invoice is over $100,000, it needs to go to Dean, who is our CFO. If it's an admin expense, then it just goes to Olivia for approval. And if it's a job cost invoice with a subcontract, then it needs to go to Jose for approval first, and then it goes to John. Now you can have as many different types of rules as you want to set up. You're really not limited to how many that you can have, and they can get as easy or as complicated and detailed as you would like. You can also set up proxy users. So as an example, let's say Olivia was on vacation, and what I want to do is I want to make Dean a proxy user for Olivia so he can view all the invoices that are in her queue for approval, and he can approve those as well. And once it's approved, it will say that Dean approved these on behalf of Olivia. So that's a nice feature when people are on vacation or they're out of the office and things need to be approved, to be able to have those proxy users do that. Okay, in the doc routing, similar to the AP routing, you can create routing rules for other types of documents. So whether it be change orders, purchase orders, daily field reports, plans, any type of document that you want to, you can put in workflows that when certain criteria is met, it automatically routes these documents around to various individuals for approval, or maybe just to be aware of that document, whatever types of information you want. And then again, you also have proxy users as well for the other types of documents. And you can create routing groups. So maybe certain things go to anyone who's part of the routing group of project manager or superintendent or purchasing agent, things of that nature. So that is some of the basic features and functionality that are available to you within Sage Paperless Construction.
Thank you guys all for joining us this morning. We hope that it was helpful to you. And of course, if you have other areas that you would like to see a little bit more in detail, feel free to email me. We're happy to do a further demonstration. This presentation is also being recorded, so we will be sure and send a link out to this recording in case you'd like to share this with anyone else on your team. Hope everyone has a great week this week. Again, any other questions or demo requests, feel free to email or call us at the tag office.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.